just wanna play, I wanna sing my song, I just wanna run, not be gone too long. 'Cause this time is precious still, I wanna keep it close to me. I'm wishing on a star to make more time to see. You can always dream, you can't put your life on hold, 'cause time won't wait for you. You can always see what is here in the now, and then you'll find out how to keep dreaming. You can always dream, no one's taken that from you, only you can see it through, just like the way you do. So feed it from your soul and weigh it from both sides. The fulcrum and the tides will give direction that you'll know. You can always dream, you can't put your life on hold, 'cause time won't wait for you. You can always see what is here in the now, and then you'll find out how to keep dreaming. When you make the time, it's a game of give and take. When the balance is at stake, you need to take a look inside, look deep into your heart, and remember how it feels. It's where the answer lies and tells you what is real. You can always dream, you can't put your life on hold, 'cause time won't wait for you. You can always see what is here in the now, and then you'll find out how to keep dreaming.
Good Sunday morning, Celebration Center. My name is Jay, and today I will be your host with the most because you're all here in front of me. So, before we get started with the wonderful service we have planned today, please join me in thanking our talented tech crew, Ivor and Aiden. They make us look and sound so good. So, our platform practitioner today is Irina Kurashevich. Our guest musician is Jezebel, and Reverend Glen Evans will be today's guest speaker. So hot off the press for this week's upcoming announcements, we have some new and exciting things on our horizon. For today, we have cookies and conversation from 12:15 to 1:15, and eating good food and laughing with our belly is what we're all about, so please try to join us if you can. And for our reoccurring events, on Tuesday, we have a book study with our good friend Jen Fay from 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. And our Healing Circle, hosted by Jen and Faith, is on Tuesday as well, from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then next week, on March 16th, we have our Let's Talk About God discussion group from 12:15 to 1:15 p.m., which occurs on the third Sunday of each month. So please try to come to that. That is a really good time to just connect with others and learn a little bit more about ourselves. And for our daily cadence, we have the Chain Reaction for Peace meditation on Zoom, which occurs daily at 2 p.m. with Irina. And these events will be hosted either on Zoom or in person, so please make sure that you're added to our virtual mailing list to keep up to date with the amazing things we have coming up. And I would like to welcome Stephanie to talk about one of our events.
Okay, we seem to be having a lot of healing circles lately, so I just want to invite you to another one. We have our weekly online healing circle Tuesday nights. That was such a hit that people wanted to go in person. Now we have a monthly healing circle the first Sunday of the month after our gathering. But tonight we are doing a special healing revealing circle for our center. That is going to be online, and that is 7 to 8. Details are in our newsletter. If you have any questions, please ask me after the service or put a question in the chat with your contact info, and I will get back to you. But we are inviting anyone who wants to come to our healing circle tonight for the Celebration Center on Zoom. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that, Stephanie. And now I'd like to welcome Jezebel for our opening song. Oh, Lynn.
I hear the music, I hear the music down in my soul, down in my soul. I hear the music, I hear the music down in my soul, down in my soul. I hear the music down in my soul, and the whole wide world is my home. Each day's a new day, each day's a new day, down in my soul, down in my soul. Each day's a new day, each day's a new day, down in my soul, down in my soul. Yeah, each day's a new day, down in my soul, and the whole wide world is my home. I love the silence, I love the silence, down in my soul, down in my soul. I love the silence, I love the silence, down in my soul, down in my soul. Yeah, I love the silence, down in my soul, and the whole wide world is my home. I feel the power, I feel the power down in my soul, down in my soul. I feel the power, I feel the power down in my soul, down in my soul. Yeah, I feel the power down in my soul, down in my soul. And the whole wide world is my home. Yeah, the whole wide world is my home. Yeah, the whole
Yes, our music director, Lynn Hollyfield, she's so talented. So thank you, thank you, and there will be Jezebel. It's the name of the song. So, my name is Irina Kurashevich, and I am so happy to be here and be platform practitioner for today. And let's begin our sacred time with reading our purpose. Celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of love of all life. This is a wonderful purpose and a wonderful slide. So, and now I invite you to relax in the chair where you're sitting. I don't know if you're in front of the computer or maybe listening. So if you're driving and listening to my voice, please do not close your eyes. But feel connected, feel connected. And if you're here or in front of your computer, please relax and feel the support. And simply by feeling the support of the floor beneath your legs, beneath your feet, and the chair or the floor you're sitting or laying on, remember that this is exactly the same support, the divine power that is everything. And let's take several breaths. Take a deep breath now and let it go. And feel more relaxed. And take another deep breath and let it go. And right now, to celebrate our oneness in one source, I invite us to take 3 long breaths together. Inhale, hold, exhale. Inhale, hold, exhale. And another one, inhale, hold, and exhale. And now, just bring your awareness to your body. How do you feel? Do you feel that your heart area is a little bit more expanded? Well, then just continue to breathe in your own pace, feeling the support of life. And my reading today is from the Science of Mind magazine, from the regular contributor and our dear friend, Eugene Holden, the practitioner. Free the mind. We have the ability to choose the way we live. Freeing the mind is choosing to live life from a place of expectancy and expansion, opening us up to infinite possibilities. Affirm this truth. I am one with the infinite mind of God. I am of this mind, which is the source of my life. I live in and from the mind of God. I am one with the infinite mind of God. I am of this mind, which is the source of my life. I live in and from the mind of God. And I know that there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. And that life is my life right now. And that life is the life of everyone who can hear me now and who will never hear me. I just know that life is all there is. As I recognize the divine power, the divine energy as life, and I know that life is unstoppable. It's constant living, beautiful unfolding and expanding. of all the divine qualities, the essences, which are love, peace, joy, harmony, bliss, beauty, wholeness, integrity. And as life is all there is, it means I am. I am life. And I am all that life is. And from this deep, deep, deep sense of oneness, acknowledgement, and acceptance of my oneness with the universe, I speak the word of oneness about everyone. There is no separation from the divine, from life, for everyone, as it's only one power. And if it's one power that is full of possibilities and opportunities, I declare that all the prayer requests are answered. I know peace. I know peace right here, right now. I know the open minds of the leaders of the world, that they accept peace as the essence of life. And I know that I only can shift my mind so I release the idea of victory or justice. As peace is the life essence. I choose love, life, love, and peace. And I declare abundance and prosperity. I declare it for everyone who is experiencing lack, as I know that our universe is so abundant. A life is abundance in self, and abundance belongs to everyone. Abundance of resources, abundance of joy, abundance of healing. And as I know that healing is revealing right here, right now. I know perfect and radiant health for everyone who hears my voice right now, for their loved ones, for their friends and family. I know perfect and radiant health, wholeness, joy, harmony, balance. I know life. And I know love, the loving relationship, which is not just liking each other. It is acknowledgement of divine presence in everything and everyone. Life presence. And I'm so grateful to have this faith. I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to speak the word of spiritual truth. I'm so grateful to have it within me, this knowledge. So I'm grateful for this teaching, for this philosophy. And I simply release it into the law. I release this prayer knowing that it is already done in the perfect mind of God, in the perfect mind of life. And I simply let it be, in confidence, in peace, and in joy. And so it is.
Intuition invites us to trust deeply. Intuition shows connection to what we can be. What's revealed is truth unfolding. What's revealed is a truth all knowing. Intuition, a key to this intuition, the thoughts which way to turn. What's revealed are loving provisions. What's revealed are our inner visions. Intuition, the universal knock on our door. Intuition, divine guidance comes once more. What's revealed, you feel in your bones. What's revealed is what you've always known. What's revealed is truth unfolding. What's revealed is a truth all-knowing. Intuition, connection, inner knowing, ever flowing. All is one.
All right, at this time, it is my great pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Reverend Glen Evans. Glen has served as a United Methodist minister for 33 years in Virginia and 6 years in Kentucky, after graduating from Asbury Theological Seminary with a Master's of Divinity. He is married to his wife, Karen, and they have lived in Arlington for the last 30 years, and he also has 1 son and 4 grandchildren. Glen also has a very heavy involvement in the Art of Humanity, or AFH, which is a spiritually guided volunteer group that operates without any overhead. 100% of the donations are used directly to help those in need. AFH places a strong and loving emphasis to help the poor improve their circumstances via self-empowerment. It has a strong presence in Honduras, which is the second poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. And Glen would like to note that this group volunteers at both our K-12 bilingual local schools, as well as the Organic Learning Center. So if this sounds like something you'd like to be a part of, please speak to Reverend Glen after the service. And now I'd like to give a warm welcome to Reverend Glen Evans.
Well, thank you so much for your warmth and hospitality. I've enjoyed visiting here before, and so grateful that Steve invited me previously. And in fact, I'm grateful that Steve invited me to learn about science of the mind a long time ago. I'm not sure if it was 5 years or 8 years or whatever. And he pointed me in the direction of Ernest Holmes. And not that I understood most of what I read, but the part that I did understand was so helpful. And learned new things, reinforced things I suspected. And the song Intuition kind of brought back some of that. And that's a part of what I enjoy about science of the mind. It's kind of summarized in intuition. That is, things that are there, but you can't always put your finger right on them. Anyway, good to be with you, and thank you for the invitation to be here today. In sharing with you some of what we are doing in Honduras, I think of something that Ernest Holmes said. He said that one of man's first discoveries was that he could think. One of humanity's first discoveries was they could think. And that is real crucial in our work and ministry in Honduras. Honduras is the second poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and it's not by accident. You know, my background before ministry was engineering, and the engineer in me says, you know, there's a cause for everything. And I think science of the mind says there's a cause for everything. And one of those causes is the educational system in Honduras. It is said to be 35 to 50 years behind their Central American neighbors. So 35 to 50 years behind Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua. And it's immediately apparent there when I meet someone there from Mexico who's traveling with a group from Honduras. It's almost immediately apparent of which one is from Mexico with a much better economic system, educational system, and economic system. And a part of that is that the system there, not just the educational system, but the political system, the economic, the employment system, teaches people not to think. People are told, don't think, just do what I tell you to do. So what they learn in school is rote memorization. They've developed wonderful memories, and I have played games sometimes when a Hondurans traveling with me and we're going into some back neighborhood that neither of us had ever been to. And then when we get ready to leave, I say, can you remember the way out? And they have great memories. Oh, yeah, you have to make a right here and a left there. But they've learned not to think. And at our schools, we teach them the importance of thinking, that it's really important to think. And so I even use kind of a silly joke with them oftentimes, particularly at the farm school. And that is, you're not to be robots. You don't just do things automatically. You do things observing and seeing, analyzing, making judgments and decisions of what should be. And if you've been told to do something and you see a better way to do it, then bring that idea back to the group and let us all learn from and share your insights. And so teaching and encouraging people to think. Now that starts in the school, that goes preschool through high school, and it's at the farm school. We started the farm school just a few years ago, 3 years ago, because 50% of the rural poor of Honduras, which is half of Honduras, are chronically malnourished. They're born undernourished and they live their life undernourished. And yet it's a situation with a cure, and not an expensive or difficult cure. And so we began teaching organic farming. Now we teach organic farming not for the same reasons that we do organic farming in the States. In the States, we mostly do organic farming for the purposes of the consumer. We do it there for the purposes of the producer. They don't have nor make use of any of the safety equipment that's used here. So you'll see somebody there with a backpack sprayer spraying chemicals all day. It's hot, so they're wearing shorts, no t-shirt, no mask, no protective gear at all, and out there for 10 or 12 hours a day spraying. and then go home and take the sprayer in the house with them and the chemicals. And so they're exposed. But beyond that, that way of farming is a more expensive way of farming than is a natural way. So we teach them how to make your own fertilizer, how to make your own fungicides, insecticides, those sorts of things, which we rarely need because we're not using all of the chemicals. But they're learning how to do that. And so, as an example, if you raise a chicken there, or a pig, or a sheep, and then you sell it for meat at the end, you make about 20% profit. About 80% has gone into the cost of feeding and raising that animal. So if that animal dies or gets stolen, they've lost a lot. In our system, they paid nothing for food. We only raise natural animals so they reproduce. Commercial chickens don't reproduce. They'll only live about 5 or 6 weeks, and if you try to keep them longer than that, they're very sophisticated hybrids, and they won't reproduce, and they'll die of a heart attack, broken legs, because they weren't made to reproduce. So we grow animals that are natural, that will reproduce, so they don't have to buy the babies. They don't have to buy the food. They don't have to buy the medicine. So now when they sell that animal, it's almost all profit. So that's what I mean by we do it for the sake of the producer, not so much for the consumer. And then the school where Steve is volunteered at for several years, coming and going, is preschool through high school. And for a Honduran to learn English, it's a bilingual school. To learn English gives them opportunities for the best jobs, takes them to the front of the line. And there's a great need in Honduras for English speakers. Our limitation is we have no native English speakers on staff. So we are always wanting native English speakers like you, like Steve, to come and speak English. Not teach English, just speak English. And so people will say, well, Glenn, what would I talk about? When Steve asked me, what would I talk about? I said, well, you know about airplanes, talk about airplanes. And somebody else says, well, I like yoga. Good, come and talk about yoga. Oh, I like art. Good, come and talk about art. Photography, exercise, whatever it is that you enjoy doing, have conversations with the students about that. And then at the end of the school day, invite some of the teachers out to coffee. Go to a coffee shop and help them to practice their English. And they are at various different levels. As Steve could tell you, that all of the teachers are very young. They're mostly in their 20s, a few of them in their 30s. And so my thinking whenever I do seminars with them is that whatever I teach them, whatever they learn from me, they will pass on to very likely thousands of students over their teaching career. So your investment of coming and sharing your language skills with them will pay dividends for a long, long time. So Ernest Holmes said, one of humanity's first discoveries was to think. And so we're trying to build on that. A second thing that Ernest Holmes said, and one of the things I like about him is he's so practical. As I said, not everything do I understand that he says or wrote. But what I do understand, a lot of it is very practical. And so one of the practical things that he said is put feet on your affirmations. So you have an affirmation, but put feet on it. That is, begin to take action. And we are always encouraging people to not only have an affirmation, but to take some action on it. As I mentioned earlier, there's a reason that they're the second poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and their education system is one of them. I think their religion is another reason. And I say that because of what they tell me. And it's a Christian community. You won't find hardly, in my 20-plus years in Honduras, I never met a Jewish person or a Hindu person or an Islamic person. It's a Christian country. And yet I see their religion as holding them back. And this would be an example of how I see them holding them back, is that they have a religion that's very pacifistic. It's not a religion that tends to take action, as Ernest Holmes talk about, putting feet on your affirmations, but it's passive. And so every day I hear what I'm about to tell you. Not these exact words, but this is an illustration of what I hear. Are you going to go to college? It depends on God. Are you going to get a job? Depends on God. What are you going to do tomorrow? Depends on God. Everything depends on God. And so my comeback to them, and now, after 20 plus years, we have a kind of relationship that I can joke and kid, but in a serious way. And so my joking kidding is, has it occurred to you that maybe God is waiting for you? Because their answer when they say it depends on God is, I'm waiting on God. I'm waiting for God. I say, well, maybe God's waiting for you. God gave you 2 hands, 2 feet, gave you a brain, blah, blah, blah. Maybe God would like to see you take some action. And so Ernest Holmes talking about putting feet on affirmation is very much a part of what we're trying to do there. And I think it's very much needed because people who are just expecting God or fate or luck to come their way and make their life different doesn't work nearly as well as people who put feet on their affirmations, who begin taking action on what their affirmations are, what their dreams, what their goals are. And so it's in these kinds of ways that science of the mind is being represented in Honduras, not under the name or the umbrella of science of the mind, but with the ideas. So a couple weeks ago when Steve was there, he said, Glenn, I'm not sure exactly what I might talk about this time. I said, you could talk about science of the mind ideas without saying science of the mind, because then everybody's going to say, well, what's that? And you go down another rabbit hole, which in a way would be okay because you're using English. But I said, talk about affirmations. Talk about personal empowerment. Talk about the kind of things that you have benefited from through science of the mind. And so I share that with you today just so you have some sense of what we're doing there and how you could be involved. I hope everybody received one of these little cards, mostly because it has my email address on it. There's some more on the table, and I have a couple here, and I hope you'll contact me. There's 2 different ways that you could become involved. certainly we would like you to come to Honduras and speak English. I'll meet you at the airport and take you to the hotel and take you to the school each day, and we'll eat dinner together. And if you like beer, we'll drink some beer together, and we'll be together all week. So that's one way to get involved, and drink coffee together in the coffee shops and that kind of thing. Another way is to sponsor one of the children. And you could do both. You could volunteer and you could sponsor, like Steve does. And so I brought these, a couple of printouts. I asked Karen if she would print out a couple of, these are just examples of some of the students who could benefit from being sponsored. And those are just representative samples. And so a person could sponsor a child, a person could come and volunteer. Certainly, we welcome your prayers and your spiritual support for this ministry. It's one that is very much spirit-guided, and it wasn't planned to be. I made a trip to Honduras and saw the poverty and started beginning to help as an individual, and Art for Humanity grew out of that. I didn't go there planning to start. I remember the day that one of the members of the congregation said, "Glenn, you know, you're going to Honduras and you're doing all this stuff. Why don't you start a 501c3? And I said, "What's a 501c3? He said, "Oh, it's kind of legalese for a charity. I'll do the paperwork if you want." And so, you know, God had a plan for that. I didn't have a plan for that, and that happened. And then a couple years later, somebody else after church said, "Glenn, you're doing all this stuff. Why don't you join the CFC?" And I said, "CFC? What's the CFC?" "Oh, that's the Combined Federal Campaign. It's sort of like United Way for federal employees. If you want, I'll get you started in that." Again, you know, I didn't have a plan for that, but God unfolded that plan in the mind of other people. And that's the way Art for Humanity has worked. It's all volunteer, and we have no overhead, and it works very well. And I think one of my hopes is that we are something of a model for other people to do the same, that there could be lots of charities where there is no overhead, so that all of the donations go to the cause of whatever the purpose of that charity is. So I thank you for your invitation to be here and to share with you, and would welcome any questions you might have either now or afterwards. I think there's going to be cookies. I think I saw cookies and coffee, and so we can do that. So.
First of all, thank you. That was fascinating. I was just struck by something. The coincidence that we would have this talk, which is very different from any talk we've ever had, just weeks after our own government decides to give less aid overseas, and we are shown a way that volunteer aid can be done overseas. So I'm struck by that. And I'm also struck by the fact that downstairs a restaurant opened last week, and we find out today that it is Honduran, directly below us. So that's where I'm going for lunch with Reverend Glen and Steve, if anybody wants to join us.
Thank you, Terry. Appreciate that. Anyone else have something to share or a question, anything that you'd like to share? Yes.
I have a question. What is the time frame when you go down there?
Oh, okay. So if you didn't hear, what's the time frame? I'm there about half of the year. I normally go for roughly 2 months there and 2 months home, 2 months there. And so I always arrange my 2 months there for when people can go. So if you say it's freezing here in January and I want to escape, then I'll be sure to be there in January. And so kind of it works like that.
So how long do people usually stay?
Good question. People normally, it depends what kind of people. So normal, that's not a good word, but I can't think of a better word right now. Normal people come in on Sunday and leave on Saturday. So that's what Steve always does. So you arrive on Sunday, get an orientation at the school Sunday before dinner, and then Monday morning ready to be at the school and speak English. There's another group of people who come, and I was sharing with, remind yeah, I was trying to think of her name. Edith, yes. So we were talking about another group of volunteers who come who are woofers. And WOOF is an acronym for Worldwide Opportunities on Organic Farms. And it was started about 75 years ago in Europe, and it's in about 150 countries. And about half of the woofers who come, we only accept woofers who come from English-speaking countries, or they have picked up English along the way. And so they come. And sometimes they stay a week, but they have been known to stay a year and everything in between. But most people come in on Sunday, leave on Saturday. And occasionally somebody comes on Sunday and leaves on Wednesday. You know, if they'll come and speak English for a day, 2 or 3 days, we're really happy about that.
The other thing is about how people pay for themselves with the travel and the lodging. I think I know the answer, but you can tell me about that.
Yes, everyone, myself included, we buy our own plane ticket and pay for our own accommodations there. And plane tickets, you know, vary with the time of the year. The most expensive season is during the summer while school is out and everybody's traveling. And tickets are higher priced then. And they range from probably on the low side in the high 400s to the high side, maybe the high 800s, something. Yes, something. Yeah, round trip. Yes.
Are you into Gucci or outside?
You would fly into San Pedro Sula, which is kind of the opposite side of the country. It's more on the coast. Tegucigalpa is in the center in the mountains. It's not as much fun flying into San Pedro as it is Tegus. If you're smiling, so you. The first time I ever flew into Tegus, there was a lady in the church said, "Glenn, you won't need to go to an amusement ride after flying in there," because I mean, for a long time, the only pilots allowed to land were those with experience landing on an aircraft carrier. And that's about the size of the airstrip there. And so when, you know, anyway, could talk about that. Anything? Yes.
Is the government aware of this school?
Is,
The government?
oh, yes, yeah, they're very aware of the schools. And, you know, if we had plenty of time, I'd tell you a little bit about that, but yes.
Tell them what the school is initially intended for and what it is now.
Okay, all right. So it started out as the poor kids' school. So only poor kids went there. And, but over time realized that the poor kids would do better if they were more socially integrated with middle income and upper income kids. But that doesn't work in Honduras because Honduras is very socially stratified. And so even though ours was the best school academically, no parent with money would send their kids to the poor kids' school. But, but the minister of education that says grace over maybe 85 schools in the whole region and who intimately knows all of the schools, decided to send her 3 kids to our school. And then all of the upper income kind of people, middle income, they said, oh, well, if Dr. So-and-so is going to send her kids there, you know, maybe we could bite the bullet and go there and mix in with those poor people. And so now we're about 1/3 who don't need any scholarship, and 2/3 who do need scholarship, like the kids on these page. So the government does know. They have hands-on involvement with what we're doing, and they recognize the value.
When we finish, I'm gonna, after the service, we can project some pictures from the last visit.
Oh, okay.
And you'll see one of the things about the leveling at the school is we all wear uniforms.
Yeah, so everyone's in a uniform, and so nobody knows who's getting a scholarship. Nobody knows those who get this much scholarship and those who get this much scholarship. So we try to, even the teachers, so the teachers just are less inclined to play favorites. So, yes. Yeah. What does sponsoring a child entail? What we ask, not everybody that sponsors comes from a faith background, but those that do, we ask that you would pray for that child and that you would cover their scholarship. And so you can do that with a credit card, you can do that with a check, you can do it once a month, or you can do it one time for the whole year. And that's the responsibility. And then we'll send you update reports, photographs. When volunteers come, then they can send you a photograph. Steve can say, hey, look, I'm with the child you're sponsoring, blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of a spiritual connection and a financial support. Anything else? Okay.
I met the young fellow that I'm sponsoring, but because of Glen's guidance, even though I got a picture taken with him and so forth, he doesn't know who I am.
Yeah.
And I didn't inform him of anything. I just made it I'd like to have a picture with you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And, sometimes sponsors say, could I send a Christmas gift? And I'd say, well, it would be better if you didn't send a gift just to one student. If you could send a digital gift to everybody, a Christmas card, a song that you sing, or something like that. But in terms of a pair of shoes, don't want to give a pair of shoes to one student and not to the rest.
How many students are you talking about?
For a long time, we were at 30 or 40, and now we're at about 230, 240.
How many teachers?
25, something like that.
Because people are online, so they can't hear unless you say in the microphone.
Okay.
They can't hear his question.
Oh, yeah, the question was, how many students are there and how many staff are there? And you heard my answer, I guess. Anything else? Thank you so much for your hospitality and for the invitation. And I look forward to sharing more time here and hopefully more time south of here, particularly when it's freezing cold here. And so it be.
change you, they could never know. Fierce and fiery, yes, what you made of you. Had to have it, 'cause you birth, life and love. You know to listen to your intuition, drawing wisdom, wisdom from the well. Jezebel. Jezebel, you are eagle, you know you'll free us all. We feel it's true. Oh, that our cousin remove the burdens. You help us come to know the deepest truth. Fierce and fiery, yes, what you made of you. Had to have it, 'cause you birth, life and love. You know to listen to your intuition, drawing wisdom, wisdom from the well. Jezebel. Jezebel, women are hurting, the world is turning round. Oh, it's real. Your cherish, there is nothing wicked. Help us embrace the love and steer the wheel. Fierce and fiery, yes, what you made of you. Had to have it, 'cause you birth, life and love. You know to listen to your intuition, drawing wisdom, wisdom from the well. Jezebel.
Oh, what an awesome song. All right. So, if you're here for the first time, we extend a very, very warm welcome and would love to get to know you. So, if you feel comfortable introducing yourself and sharing how you found us, please do.
Hello, Alicia, and I just found you guys online. She did an awesome webpage. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, is it on? Oh, wow. My name is Shayla. I found you guys online as well. I think it was a different location. I'm pretty sure it's this CSL, but it was a different location, and that person told me that they don't actually meet in person, and so they recommended the Falls Church location because you guys do. And yeah, I feel like I've been trying to have a concrete idea of like what my beliefs are. I was born in Judaism and then I converted to Christianity, and I've since then like moved away from that, and I've been learning a lot about the principles that were talked about today. And I'm still exploring them, but they deeply resonate with me. And so I've been learning a lot about like collective consciousness, like infinite intelligence, different things like that, and like quantum physics. I don't understand it all, but it resonates with me still, so I'm just seeking to learn more.
Awesome. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome. That is so great. Loved hearing what you guys had to say. That was awesome. Thank you very much for sharing. All right. And we also, I just want to point out, we do have guest cards on the table to your left. You can fill that out with your email, and you can get added to our mailing list and stay up to date. And the newsletter as well. And you can scan this QR code right here to my left on the screen. And that's a little bit easier, too. It's just a nice way to digitally stay in touch. All right, and if you are online, please shout yourselves out in the chat so we can appreciate your virtual presence. And if it's your first time viewing our service, like I said, you can scan the QR code and stay in touch, even through the World Wide Web. And it has come time to open our hearts and minds to the abundance of this community and share our gifts and offerings. We are a tithing community, which means we rely on the tithes and gifts from our congregation. And that being said, we would like you to know that your presence, as well as the love, time, talent, and treasure that you bring, are also gifts to our community. And we are so grateful for all of your donations, no matter what it be. And so please see a practitioner or member of the board if you'd like to offer any non-monetary donations, whether it be something visual like an art piece or a musical performance. We would love to connect with you. Or if you'd like to give financial support, there are many ways you can do so. When you're in the center, please feel free to drop your donations in the basket located on the table to your left. And if you're virtual or prefer digital transactions, you can scan the QR code and donate there. And donating through our website is also an option at celebrationcenter.org. And like I always say, like all of us, our website is beautiful and intuitive. So you'll easily be able to navigate to the Give button on the homepage. And you are also welcome to mail your gifts in and can find our address at celebrationcenter.org. And now, Arena will lead us in our offertory, affirmations, and blessings.
Well, and I would like to express my gratitude to Reverend Glen. And let's give him more love. Thank you so much. And we pay our speakers a fee, and Reverend Glen chose to send his fee to that organization that he volunteers with. I want you all to know. And I want to say special thank you to Lynn, because a year and a half I was at her concert in Alexandria, and she sang that song, and it just pierced through my heart. I love that song. And I asked her, because yesterday was the International Women's Day, and I used that opportunity, and that's why we heard that very feminine song. So thank you, Lynn. Jezebel. And with that, I also would like to remind us that we have the green cards right there. And you can put the prayer request, and practitioners will support you in prayer for a week. You also can go to our website. There is a prayer button. You can ask for a prayer, or you again can scan the QR code and send your prayer request. And with that, let's read our affirmation. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And now I invite us all to bless this world of abundance. And I just know that the Celebration Center is an active participant of the law of circulation. I know that this place is a vessel of love, is a vessel of abundance, the vessel of generosity. As we know, giving and receiving, it is one energy. It is divine presence in our lives. And I'm so grateful to know the generosity of this community. the abundance of speakers, musicians, talents that come our way. To share with the world the ideas of love, peace, joy, harmony. And I know that all the prayer requests that were being submitted this week, they're answered in the perfect mind of God, as God is life. And life has all the answers within itself. And I simply, being grateful, release this prayer into the law, knowing that it is done. And so it is.
Standing like a tree with my roots stuck down, my branches wide and open. Down comes the sun, down comes the rain, down comes the fruit to the heart that is open to be. Standing like a tree with my roots stuck down, my branches wide and open. Down comes the sun, down comes the rain, down comes the fruit to the heart that is open to be. Standing like a tree. We are the flow, we are the ebb, we are the weavers, we are the web. We are the flow, we are the ebb, we are the weavers, we are the web. We are the flow, we are the ebb, we are the weavers, we are the web. We are the flow, we are the ebb, we are the weavers, we are the web. Standing like a tree with my roots stuck down, my branches wide and open. Down comes the sun, down comes the rain, down comes the fruit to the heart that is open to be. Standing like a tree with my roots stuck down, my branches wide and open. Down comes the sun, down comes the rain, down comes the fruit to the heart that is open to be. Standing like a tree. Down comes the love to the heart that is open. Down comes the love to the heart that is open. Down comes the love to the heart that is open to be. Standing like a tree.
All right. That was an awesome song. So, as we close, I just want to remind you that our practitioners are happy to pray with you after the service. You just have to ask, and it is as simple as that. And they'd love to do that for you. It's an amazing way to feel connected with yourself and others and continue to expand the life-affirming elements in your life. So, thank you all for joining us today. And don't forget to come back come back next week to hear Reverend Jim Lockhart. And I am knowing a wonderful week ahead of you all with happiness, love, and good laughs shared with others. Thank you.